another advantage of being a Boy Scout. As a scout, I learned to make a phone call to an office or to a businessman or businesswoman and make an appointment. I learned how to conduct an interview and ask questions. I learned how to write a thank you note. You will be amazed, maybe you in the business world will not be amazed, at the number of adults who do not know how to make a phone call to set up an appointment, or do not know how to write a thank you note. Little things like that, writing a thank you note, I have found at the age of 25 to make a big difference in your reputation and the impressions you make in the work field. Now, while you don't need to have Boy Scouts to learn how to write a thank you note, it was Boy Scouts where my mom made me write a thank you note to the fireman that had given me an interview for my fireman merit badge, or to my scoutmaster for spending extra time with me. Those type of social skills will be very important in later years, and that's the type of thing you don't appreciate as a 13-year-old scout who's hard enough writing a thank you note to your grandma for a birthday present or whatever. But when you're 25, you'll appreciate having the confidence to phone up a total stranger and make an appointment or ask them an important question in an interview. Those are social skills I got out of scouting. Finally, I guess the best thing I got out of scouting was exposure to different fields of study or different types of occupations. The merit badges focus on your everyday, run-of-the-mill type of life-enhancing activities. Your rifle and shotgun shooting, athletics, personal safety, finance, horsemanship, leatherwork. These are the type of activities that don't make the newspapers, but those are the type of activities that most people do. I found as a Boy Scout that when I go to talk to these people about getting merit badges, they were more than willing to talk to me. As a scout, you can take advantage of this opportunity much more so than you can when you're somebody my age. As a scout, I took a tour of a textile plant, and as I was for my textile merit badge, when I was done, they gave me a clipping of an artificial artery that surgeons use to replace human arteries that can't be repaired. As a 25-year-old taking a tour of a textile plant, I doubt they would give me such a clipping. I took that home, dipped it in red paint, and showed it to my sisters. And they screamed right out of the room. I told them this came out of a human body. Look, it's an artery. And I couldn't get away with that when I'm 25, but I could when I was 13. As a 13-year-old scout, we took a tour of an FBI lab. Got to see their weapons and all the drugs they had confiscated. 25-year-old people don't get to tour FBI labs and see those type of things. Boy Scouts do. As a Boy Scout, I started a fire truck and blew the siren. They wouldn't let me drive it until I was 16. As a 25-year-old, I can't make an appointment, go down and talk to a fire chief, have let me start the engine and blow a fire horn. You don't do that when you're 25, but you can do it as a scout when you're 13. I made a basket. Well, actually, no, I put a seat in a chair as part of my basket weaving merit badge. I still have that chair in my room at home and see it in it today. As a 25-year-old, I'm not going to weave a basket or weave a seat to go on a chair. I don't have the time or the interest to do that. But as a Boy Scout, I did. As a Boy Scout, I made a homemade camera out of a shoebox. We looked up a piece of tape to take pictures, rolled the whole roll of film because it didn't work. But that's something you do as a Boy Scout. It's something I'm not going to do today at the age of 25. These type of activities you can take advantage of as a Boy Scout and get away with as a Boy Scout. You can't do it any other time in your life. As Scouts, I encourage you to take advantage of this opportunity. If you earn your merit badges, don't read the pamphlet or the booklet and write out your responses and pass it off, which you can do with many of those merit badges. Make an appointment to talk to a fire chief or to a police chief or to a librarian. Learn those. Take advantage of what they will show you. Make sure your parents drive you to those type of things that have been well worth your while. And as you look back at scouting when you're 25, you look back on fond memories. You look back to the time you blew a fire horn. You look back to the time that you stuffed your Scoutmaster and a trash can. Took 12 of us to do it, but we did it. You look back on the times that you ate food that had been dropped in the dirt. Makes you appreciate cooking at home too. Endurance, camaraderie, exposure, memories, those are the things I got out of scouting, and those are the things that I remember about scouting. All the fun times and all those extra things that I could do then that I'm unable to do now. And that's what I encourage all scouts and all parents of scouts to make sure happens with their sons. Thank you very much.
I might mention that Joel's just been with us a year. He'll be leaving pretty soon. He's been here working on his master's degree as a community planner, working on his internship with our, what is it, the Community 100 or Chamber of Commerce here in this area. So we really appreciate him taking the time to talk to us and share with us his experiences.
Before I get started, we've got 2 stray Cub Scouts. Somebody needs to go find them. It's just like it is every week. We gotta round them up, so did Brian come? Okay, Brian's not here. Okay, thanks, that's it then. But that's no different. Every week we have to find their boys so we can enlighten them about Cub Scouts. Before I begin giving out the awards, I want to especially thank Rhonda Mace. She was their den leader this year, and she's done a great job. She's been very faithful and put out a lot, and I really appreciate all the work that she's done and getting the program ready and getting all the materials here and seeing that it was carried out. I also want to thank Chad Effler. He was their den chief this year, and he'll be receiving a den chief award. Chad, would you please come up here and get your award? This is Den Chief Service Award, and if you boys like to serve as a year as a Den Chief, get this. Den Chief Cords, and thank you.
Use red face for it,
Okay, and I want to thank all the boys for coming out and being good sports and learning how to get along with each other this year. We've had a successful year. We have several boys that are getting their Bear Award. And one boy didn't join the pack until this year, and he was a bear, and his little brother was a wolf. He went through the wolf and the bear at the same time. And see, he earned the Wolf Award and the Bear Award, and that was Patrick Burles. Patrick, would you come up and get yours? I'm explaining why I'm giving these. I waited till the very last minute, making sure that there's one more from Patrick. Making sure that I got all the boys' bears and their arrow points, and I waited so long that they didn't get back. So I'm giving them a certificate tonight, and they'll get their achievement or their little patch to go on their uniforms when they come back. But before I give, okay, Jason Blandings is not here tonight. Kenneth Burleson. Okay, he's our wolf. He's earned his Wolf Award. Aaron Young has completed his Bear Award this year. Robbie Turner completed his Bear this year. Jared Mays completed Bear. Michael Crone has completed his Bear Award this year. And Brian Hodge is not here yet. Brian, good. Come get your certificate. And Carl Harrell. And Mark Edwards. I'm real proud of these boys. They've done a lot of work. And before I sit down, Briggs asked me to say a few things and explain the Cub program just a little bit. When I first got into scouting, when I first met Gene, I really didn't know know what scouting was all about. I thought it was some boys that helped old ladies across the street and went out in the woods and built up a fire and sang, "My hat has 3 corners," or "corners," or whatever. You know, I just, that's about it. I didn't have any idea what goes on, but when, the more, it seemed like everything that was broke around the house, Gino knew how to fix it, and then we started building a house, and he always knew what to do, and I said, "Well, how did you know that?" "Well, I learned it in Scouts." "Well, I learned this in Scouts." I thought, oh. And, so anyway, I began to realize that scouting was, Boy Scouting was a little bit more than what I had thought it was to start with. These boys that have earned their bear will be moving up to the Webelow program. And in the Webelow program, for you boys that, and you parents that the boys are not members of this church, well, members of this church too, but I just wanted to let you know that there is a religious award that they earn as Webelows. And it has to come through your pastor or through your, in their case, it's the bishop. But each church has their own requirements for their religious award, and they get this award, and it's one to earn their Arrow of Life. It goes on their uniform, and they can carry it over and wear it on their scout uniform when they become Boy Scouts. And so, if the parents of these boys that are not members of the church, you might want to talk to your pastor, your clergy, and see what their requirements are from your church. We are needing a Webelow leader. If anyone would like to volunteer tonight, we'll talk to you after a while. But the scouting program moves from Wolf, Bear, and Webelow, and when they finish with Webelow, they go into the Boy Scouts at in 5th grade, 10 and a half or 11 years old. And I've really enjoyed working with these boys, and I have learned a lot. I've learned how to tie a necktie, how to sharpen a knife, all kinds of things that, it's things that I thought, well, everybody ought to know, you know, how to name 20 trees, or anybody ought to know all this kind of stuff. But it's really a program to bring children and their families, brings families closer together, because you have things you have to help your children with. And I've learned to enjoy Scouts, and I appreciate my opportunity to work with the Scouts.
Now, Gene Harold will present the rules to Scouts.
Hey, well, since we've been sitting a while, everybody want to get up, stand up and stretch one time before we start?
Is it gonna be that long?
Yeah, it's gonna be this long. I'm on the soapbox now, I'm ready to get. Well, first off, I too would like to welcome all the parents here tonight. We've not got quite a showing of parents like we used to have, and I'm disappointed with that. These boys work super hard for these awards, and just like Joel was saying, I'd like to compliment Joel on his talk. He couldn't have done better if I'd have read it for say. You parents, I hope you listen to what he said about the Eagle Scout. They couldn't have come at no finer time than I've ever seen. I just felt like saying here when he was talking about that. What I tell you, if you're not a scouting family, your boy will never make it. There's 1 out of 100 that will make it if you're not behind. But if the parent and mother and father are either singly or whatever, you get behind the boy, then he can make it. And I've told these boys here, if they'll just stick with me long enough, if I can keep them in the program long enough, I guarantee you they'll make even. One other thing too, statistics are saying 1 out of every 100 is going to make an Eagle Scout. And I'm telling you, we can do a lot better than that. Every one of these boys, these older guys coming on, so far we've lost 1 boy that's not made, that's went up this high and not finished even. We've got 1 Eagle. We've got some